Fukushima was declared recently by the federal government, not our federal government, but the Japanese federal government, as being cold. Everything's fine. Nothing to worry about. We got this thing under control. Sounds a little bit like Slim Pickens, riding the nuke down out of the airplane. But everything under control. Paul Gunter is the director of the Reactor Oversight Project at beyondnuclear.org, a group that keeps track of this kind of stuff and is very well educated on these issues. Paul, welcome back to our program.
Hey, thank you, Tom.
So, good news. Nothing to worry about. Fukushima. Let's book a flight.
No, not yet.
Okay.
This is kabuki theater.
Oh.
It's really more of the same, an effort to control information. I mean, even the New York Times is now reporting that this cold shutdown is being declared over serious doubts, is the headline.
How do you cold shut down 3 nuclear reactors that have melted into a liquid puddle of white-hot molten radioactive crud?
Yeah, I think it would have been more appropriate if they were to have had some assessment of cold meltdown, but that's not this is really more about fulfilling the Japanese government pledge to bring the accident under control by January 2012. So this is it's a declaration, but there remains many experts who believe that this is not the true situation.
Now, one of the things that concerns me is, in addition to the fact that 3 of these reactors have melted down and continue to burn into the core of the Earth and may hit water levels, and we may see steam explosions, et cetera, is that other of these reactors are built the same way reactors are built in the United States, many of them, in that they have the nuclear waste stored in their ceilings, in their roofs.
Yeah.
And the nuclear waste itself, if the roof were to give way and it were to fall onto the ground, the zirconium rods would bust open, the stuff that keeps it from each other would break open, and even though it's spent nuclear fuel, could it begin fissioning? And if not, could it still contaminate the environment?
Yeah, there are still experts who fear what's called recriticality. Clearly the situation is that there's a lot more uncertainty about how this is going to proceed. There is this ongoing cooling operation that is preventing this recriticality, but it's not built to any earthquake standard at all. It's really just a patchwork.
They're just pumping water in.
They're pumping water in, and we've got now more than 90,000 tons of highly radioactive water accumulating on site. It's already been known to be leaking into the Pacific Ocean. So there's, an earthquake could set this whole thing off again. Let's remember that all that nuclear waste that you're talking about is still in these 4 rooftop pools, and Unit 4 is looking more and more like the Leaning Tower of Pisa right now.
You mean the whole building itself?
The whole building is listing. And
the structure that's holding the pool.
Structurally listing. There's about 150 tons of high-level nuclear waste. The full core was offloaded to the top of this rooftop pool and is sitting in this pool, 6 stories up.
So this is not even spent nuclear waste. This
is reactor core. They were refueling Unit 4 when the accident happened. So we had meltdowns in Units 1, 2, and 3. But the core had been moved to the roof at Unit 4, and that building is now shifting. And they've been sending engineers in there to try to shore it up, to poles and whatever to keep it from falling over. But if that whole thing falls over, it's just going to dump a whole reactor core right out onto the ground, and that's a big concern for recriticality right now.
And recriticality is a fancy way of saying fission.
The meltdown resumes.
Right. In other words, the nuclear reaction begins all over again. Now, this is not the kind of nuclear reaction that we see in bombs. This is the kind of nuclear reaction we see in nuclear reactors, where it gets white hot. It produces amazing amounts of heat and radiation.
And hydrogen gas.
Which is highly explosive. And it produces amazing amounts of radioactive isotopes, many of which are themselves gases, iodine, xenon, and whatnot. And those things get into the atmosphere immediately, right?
Right. So, I think that we're still in a guessing game in terms of what's real and what's staged. There's a reporter who was an undercover worker who just held a news conference in Tokyo, which was just reported in the Mainichi News, which is a reliable and ongoing source if you want to really keep track of what's going on at Fukushima coming out of Japan.
Is this in Japanese or English?
They have an English version online, but it's the Mainichi News. But Tomohiko Suzuki is saying that he told a Foreign Correspondents Club news conference that the work is basically charade right now. That they're just letting things run their course. Still, they're pouring lots of water in, and there's a lot of hope that they've cooled it down. But again, let's remember that the radioactivity is so intense that nobody can really get in there to look and see what's going on. It is really about computer modeling right now. There are some temperature gauges that are tracking lowering temperatures, but whether or not they're actually projecting, accurate temperatures of where that core sits, and there have been any number of projections. Some of the projections are that the core has already gotten into the Earth. So even TEPCO's own projection says that it long ago left the vessel. It melted through, dropped to the floor, and burned through 2/3 of the concrete floor, and was well on its way out of the reactor basement. So
that means you've got 4 reactors that are in full meltdown.
Well,
or China syndrome.
The 3 reactors that were operating melted down. The 4th reactor, we have Unit 4 with all that fuel up on the roof, leaning to the side.
Right. And can't they get a robot in there, or is the radiation so intense that it fries the electronics of the robots?
They have been getting robots in there, but we've not been getting any sense that they're able to do anything. Because of the heat, the radiation, but tracking this stuff.
That's right. These are millions of degrees hot, aren't they?
Well, it's extremely hot, and it's hard to locate right now. They're still using computers to try to locate the position of the core.
Amazing.
In these units 1, 2, and 3.
Amazing. So, don't book your summer vacation at Fukushima now. Okay, you can get all the information over at beyondnuclear.org. Paul Gunter. Paul, thanks so much for being with us.
No nukes.
Yeah, no nukes for sure. Good talking with you.